Hi Lenny, how are you?
Hey Jan, how are you doing?
Good. It's good to see you again.
Yep.
I'm glad that we were able to get back together. And
Yep.
I want to just kind of go through a little bit of what we talked about the first time, and just to see what changes have happened since our last conversation, and then
Okay.
talk a little bit about some ideas and recommendations that I might have for you.
Okay.
So basically, last time we talked, you said that you're trying to do a little bit more with Facebook and social media,
Mhm.
and you realize that it is some value in that piece of it, and so you're trying to consider ways that you can communicate better on Facebook and do things of that nature, which I think is awesome. I think that's great. You're also thinking about maybe changing your website a little bit. You talked a little bit about your website.
Yeah, I think you brought up that it's not mobile friendly, and that probably needs to be worked on or whatever too.
Right,
So, yeah.
and having, and also, ways that you can manage it better, and make it more accurate and things like that. And then, is there anything else that you've been thinking about?
No, that search marketing was intriguing as well. I know I've done some searches on my phone, and I see ads that pop up there for different things like landscaping rock, and
Yeah,
for different, people looking for black dirt, things in the spring. So, it's probably something. I mean, it just all depends on the cost for everything. That's what it really
Yep.
boils down to. So.
absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about just the digital marketing space in general. It can be, I talked to a lot of business owners, and what I'm hearing them tell me is that it can be quite overwhelming. They're not sure what direction to go, what path to follow. It can be a little bit confusing and it takes a lot of time and effort, and you have to think about where you want to allocate your time. And if you want to really spend it on making sure that your website's showing up correctly, I mean, that takes a lot of time, and takes it away from you going out there to do the bids and things of that nature too.
Yeah.
So a lot of people feel the same way and overwhelmed just as you do. And so they want to try to understand it. And so I want to try to make it easy for you, and think about the fact that I have some different ideas with the digital space and how we can coordinate those ideas, and basically move forward with that. So you don't feel so overwhelmed, and it's just about navigating this complex space and trying to simplify it for you.
Yeah.
And one thing to talk about is look at is the consumer shopping behavior. We kind of try to make it simple, and we try to break it down into 3 different types of people. Not everybody uses the same path, and some people cross over and use multiple paths depending upon what the purchase is that they're going after. So for example, we have a basic digital consumer. And the basic digital consumer is somebody that already pretty much knows who they want to contact. They already know that they want to reach somebody. It's just a matter of picking up the phone or going to their website and reaching them through their website and connecting with them that way. That's what we call the basic digital consumer. The second thing we have is what we call a digital driven buyer. And the digital driven buyer would be more like something that I would do. This is actually the fastest growing segment of the consumers online. And this person typically hopes to complete their entire purchase process from the internet. It can start with their initial interest to ultimately where they make the purchase decision. So for example, maybe they have a business, or they hear about a business from a friend on social media, and then they research the options on search engines like Google, and then maybe they solicit reviews on Yelp, and ultimately they buy the product on their website. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the third path would be called the internal shopper. And this person is pretty heavily invested in researching first. They're going to leverage all the resources that are available online to become pretty deeper informed prior to making their purchase. And I'm sure that you see consumers or customers like this as well for your business.
Yeah, I see all types.
Because it's such an investment when it comes to landscaping and things like that. I'm sure they do want to do the research and look online and things like that as well. So these people are real, tech savvy as far as that goes too, and they're going to do more research. But keep in mind that all of these paths do cross, and people can use them depending upon the purchase and how big the investment is. That they could be using all 3 of these at different times in their life. Okay. So that's just something to keep in mind. The bottom line is that you really just can't predict which profile your potential customer will fall into, or even what external factors may force them to change their normal buying behavior. And that is really one of the big reasons why this digital space has become so complex. Would you agree?
Yep. Yeah. No, it is confusing.
Yeah. So taking this a step further, Lenny, you also have to consider the behavior of the consumers when they're not on the path to purchase. Okay, did you realize that 80% of the consumers use the internet to make their search for information more convenient? 80%.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Isn't that high? Wow, yeah, it is a lot. And I think that's good to know because there's really two groups of buyers out there. We have what we call the surfers and we have what we call the searchers. The surfers would be considered, they're casually browsing the internet, like myself, checking out the sports scores, looking at the recipes
Or
online.
Facebook.
Or Facebook or reading articles. I don't know,
Instagram,
do you do any of that on your phone?
Yeah, I look at some of those things, the twin scores or whatever,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's about it.
Okay, and then the other group of people are the searchers. Now, what they are is they're actively looking for specific products. So they're looking for landscape supplies, or they're looking for something to build them a retaining wall in the backyard. So they're typing in specific keywords. And so finding a business and they're looking for the business hours or information or location or your website or things like that. So that would be the other group of buyers. So that's really one of the big reasons why you want to keep in mind when you're planning your marketing budget that you're working with these two groups.
Gotcha.
Make sense? Okay. And because it can influence their buying habits and things of that nature. So we like to talk about the 3 steps to building your business online. The good news is that we try not to make this space complicated for you. Okay, we want to make it simple and less confusing. So what we've done is we look at step number 1, which is building what we call a solid foundation, Lenny. So what I mean by that is we want to basically make sure that the information when it comes to your NAP score, which is your name, address, and phone number, we want to make sure that's accurate and consistent on all the directories in the search engines. And so we want to go through that process, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I found when I was researching your information out there. So that's the first thing. And then after we do that, we want to keep in mind reviews. And you want to be able to track, manage, and share your online reviews. It's very important because people will look at those reviews. They're influenced by a lot of those on there too. The second,
If you get a bad one, that could be the
oh
kiss
yeah,
of death. So
absolutely.
that's not
Yep.
good. So
No, it's
some
not.
people just bitch on there about stuff, but
Oh,
you can't
always.
control it.
No, you can't. But if you can have, there's something you can manage, and we have a review product that we'll talk about too. The second piece to building your business online is having that sound structure that represents your business and initiates those conversations. And that has to do with making sure that website is mobile friendly because so many people start their searches on their smartphones. And then also ongoing and engaging in social media, like you had talked about with your Facebook and things of that nature, and making sure that you're engaged in that, and then it's updated and current and things like that. And then the third step is to drive those targeted leads to your business. And we can do that, just like you know how your vans have the logos on them? Right, we want to make sure that that's also seen online when people are searching online. So it's about using and taking advantage of search, display, and SEO. With display ads that we can basically have you showing up when people are surfing along the internet, and then they see your ad showing up in that space. And then they can take action and go to your website or make a phone call. And then it's top of mind awareness. You're always keeping your name out there for them too. So we try to simplify it into those 3 steps. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
Okay, perfect. Then I want to get into the next piece that I want to talk about having, which is one provider. And SMB stands for Small Medium Businesses. And they did a survey, and this is through Thrive Analytics, and it was done in January 2017. And they're finding that small, medium businesses prefer to work with one provider. Does that make sense to you? What do you feel? How do you feel about
I
that?
hate working. I got people always stopping in here, and it's nice because you followed up a couple times. I appreciate your persistence, but I get all these people. They're phone calling and they're stopping by, or they're leaving cards. I can't afford to spend time with every person that comes in. I'd rather just work with one person. So I see where that's.
You see where that makes kind of sense?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
it also helps with the synergy and the harmony of your whole marketing platform. With everything being connected and working together and tracking your results and having the login information that you can get to those results rather than all these different login information. And so it makes it much more a stronger foundation for you if you work with one. So most businesses do lack the time and knowledge and the resources when it comes to doing this. So I do recommend that you do work with one provider when you're thinking about your marketing strategy and how you want to be found online. And that leads me to the next piece, which is talking about the experience and working with Haibu. We provide expert service, and we drive new customers and hundreds of thousands of businesses, or we work with hundreds of thousands of businesses. And this is kind of an overview. So if you see here, we have basically built over 500,000 websites. Okay, so we do have experience in that field. Also, 138,000 digital listing management programs that we talked about, making sure that's consistent. Over 89,000 search campaigns, 5,000 SEO campaigns, and 35,000 on display. So we do have experience in this atmosphere, which should make you feel more confident about working with us, because it's not like something brand new that we're testing the waters.
Sure.
It's not like a pilot. We've been doing this for a long time, and we also have our Facebook, which brings me to the next step, which is our partnership that we have with Facebook and Google. We're a premier partner. We're a Google Premier partner. We're also a Bing partner, a Yahoo preferred partner, and a Facebook marketing partner. And by partnering with these large companies, Lenny, we become a better partner for you. And we're constantly being audited all the time, and they're looking at how our campaigns are performing, the longevity of our campaigns, and they're finding out with all their other vendors that they work with that we have a history of keeping our clients over the long period of time versus our competitors do. And that's because of the way our reports are set up, and we like the way that we provide that information for you. And then it comes down to also looking at some of the reviews that people have to say, because I know you're here in the King of Prussia area, and these are some local other businesses that are in your area that have written some positive reviews working for Haibu. So I wanted to share some of those with you. This particular gentleman said, super awesome. Thank you, Haibu. It's been a very big help to get our name out there. The tools that come with the websites make it so easy to monitor the activity and actually guide us to get the best bang for our dollars. So that's kind of good and stuff like that. So I wanted you to be aware of that, and when you have time later, we can look at some more of those as well. When it comes down to your digital listing management score, I wanted to reference a little bit of how this is done and what we look at. So when I was looking, we're going to look at your current score in just a few minutes, Lenny, but the places that we go to make sure that it's accurate is what we call, there's 4 different areas. We look at your local business profile, which is Google, Bing, the Apple Maps, and Yelp. Did you know that the Apple Maps is different from the Google Maps? I don't know, but if you have an iPhone and somebody else has an Android, they don't all conform correctly. So basically, when it comes to this information, I'm going to show you really quick here what I found with your visibility score. You basically right now have about a 46% error rate.
Wow.
So basically what that's saying is you're not claimed on Google. You are claimed on Bing. You are claimed, you have a listing on Yelp, but your NAP score isn't consistent, which is your name, address, and phone number. So we'll look through this information and we'll clean this up for you. Yeah, somehow did you have a different location before? Do you have that maybe you might have listed?
Could have been a tracking phone number out there somewhere that got picked up or something. I don't know.
Oh, it could have been something like that, yeah. And so you look at the red, we want to make